Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at 3 Pigeons who did provide this for review. And so as we get into this here, again, I have not yet even taken a look at this. So we're going to get a first look and impression of this brand together. Now, as I mentioned right at the intro, this is a company who reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in taking a look at their products. They allowed me to go through pretty much their entire catalog to get a look at all of their gear and said just pick out some things that I thought would be useful. And right away, for me, range gear and, bags and management of my firearms is literally critical for a few reasons. First and foremost, the safety and security and ability to transport. That's absolutely of importance. The ability to keep my gear clean and organized. And when I go to the range, I have a ton of things I need to do, a ton of objectives. As you realize, you watch my channel. If you've been watching my channel, you realize, pretty much every time I go to the range, I'm filming. So I need to manage my gear, manage my ammo, manage my firearms, and all my filming equipment, my safety and security equipment, med kits and things like that, and maybe optics or different things that I'm testing. So having something like this for the pistol application, I think is going to be very nice. And right away, as I start to take a look at this, seemingly very nicely made. Now, of course, we'll get into all of the details, but right away, just some of the general impressions from the outside of the bag. Very, very nice. You can see here, some MOLLE, and it seems to be laser cut, and it incorporates some Velcro fields, and same with on top. Lot of Velcro on the outside, some laser cut MOLLE on the side panels. On the back, nice, robust, and just heavy duty padded shoulder straps. As we open this whole thing up, you'll see now we're getting into a waist belt. So again, just a nicely padded waist belt. Fantastic from a very first impression. This here being ballistic nylon. Really, really cool. As we take a look at some of the buckles here, just looking at the little things, like for example, are these sort of name brand? It doesn't seem to be. This brand, 3 Pigeons, is going to be sort of a mid-tier range, I would say. Not high-end, not super budget, but, budget friendly. Really, in my opinion, sort of tailoring, and I'm not going to say by any means the novice, maybe for somebody looking to get started, maybe for somebody who's either looking for, a second set of gear or something that they can outfit a nice kit and not completely break the bank with a nicely featured piece of equipment. And so as you take a look here, you can see one of the things that caught my attention right away: lockable zippers. Now, I think that's an extremely important feature that many manufacturers overlook, and especially when you're talking about range gear, this is critical because depending on what you're trying to do, where you're located, and what the laws are in your area, you may need to have your firearms locked up. You may need to have your ammo locked up, and you might want that level of security. So right away, I greatly like that about this. As we fold open the top here, so some nice compartmentalization, the ability to stash some tools. Actually, these are all padded. So right away you can see these are padded, and I'm curious about this. Would this be suitable for glasses? Which, sliding these in, yes. So right away, I have a place for my range glasses. I love that. A smaller compartment here, well, what do you think that's going to be good for? My hearing protection. So right in the top of the bag, right in the front where I'm going to need it, my safety glasses and my hearing protection. That's awesome. That's one of the first things I do when I get to the range. I break these out because oftentimes people are shooting, and right away I will need those. So that's definitely cool. Couple other smaller little compartments here, very simple. And then across the front, a fairly nice sized pocket here, not too huge, but large enough. And then on top of all of that, I can say I will probably have the ability to, yes, fit my range notebook, which I always keep notes, right in there. So right away, I'm already getting some very good impressions on how I would lay this out. Very nice. Moving down to the next section here, again, you can see you have some pockets on the side. So Nice large pockets. Again, fairly good size. I would probably potentially keep ammo in there. Also zippers with locks on the side. So you can see here, again, the ability to lock everything up if you need to. Nice zipper pulls. They have a little bit of just this sort of rubberized material on the end that's going to help. It's like a shrink tube just to keep everything tidy. These are basically paracord loops with knots, and then they just put the little rubber over that, which is more than suitable. I definitely think that's fine. The very front compartment here, again, some more subdivided organization. So taking a look at it here, almost like a clear pocket, which is weird because it doesn't really need to be. I don't know what the clear gains you there, but you also have this pouch here on the outside. So I guess that's the purpose, you know, kind of getting a little extra subdivided nature here if you need it. And then the ability to see the contents on the inside. A little bit strange, but kind of go with it for a minute here. A couple little loops here, so elasticized loops. That's nice. The ability to put pens, markers, things like that. And a little, I would say, admin section here. So again, some subdivided ability to get pens, markers, things like that. I do typically bring Sharpies to the range, so having the ability to put these in here, that will work out just fine. So that's actually about perfect, or in these loops. So depending on if you're trying to put little tools, you can make a little, you know, tool kit, you can make a med kit, you could also have a little admin section. So very nice. Again, rolling around to the other side now, I think what we're gonna find is as we open this up here, so a full zip all the way around. And yes, as we open this up, you end up with your sleeves. So you end up with sort of like pistol sleeves here. So as we remove them, 1, 2, and 3, side access, very simple. Everything is nicely padded, but you'll also find access over the top. So top and side access here. So a couple different ways to get in here. Now, another thing that you'll notice is this does seem to have inverted zipper tracks. So that's nice. That does help to protect the zippers in the long haul. They're actually fairly substantial, large zippers, good and durable. They should do a nice job. They're a self-healing design. And then also over the top, you'll see a large yoke grab handle. So just a large doubled over grab handle. Box stitching in some critical locations, which is fantastic. Pulling off the information here, you can see, again, 3 Pigeons, general user information, a 20% off your next order coupon, and some information about their website. As we go through the pistol pouches, we'll open these up. So here you can see they do appear to be pretty much single-sided here, with the ability to put a number of magazines. So that is fantastic, with a nicely padded sleeve in between to keep your firearm protected so things don't bang around. You can see there's also sort of you know, supplementary pocket here, so the firearm could certainly go in this section here, it could go in this section here. So a little bit versatile. It is very soft on the inside, so not a fleece lining, but a nice soft liner on the inside. So the ability to keep things protected, fantastic. Nice heavy zippers. Again, you can see each one of these having heavy duty zippers, doubled over and box stitched grab handle, and more than enough padding here to keep things protected. As we go through these, just taking a quick look, seemingly about the same from what I can tell. Everything seems to be the same size, at least in terms of these first 2. And as we take a look at the third one here, yes, seemingly exactly the same. So all 3 of these about the same size. Just for a quick size comparison and demonstration here, you can see this is my Canik Mete SFT, which I'll get the magazines loaded in. You'll notice 4 slots here. Again, that padding, if it's moving around a little bit, probably not a big deal, but you'll notice that these magazines do slide off to the side just a little bit. So if I was literally just going to place my handgun in there, that is certainly a consideration. I will probably try to go more like this if possible. And for this particular size handgun, that's going to be tight. A smaller sort of micro compact size would probably fit in that sleeve, no problem. So this would fit like this, folding this over the top and then zipping everything shut. That's going to work just fine to keep everything nicely padded and nicely protected. And of course, the ability to fit multiple firearms in the bag itself. So I should be able to fit all 3 in here with no problem. And depending on kind of what you're trying to do, obviously, you can organize this a number of different ways. Now, I do find that with the actual firearm in here, it kind of does bulk things out just a little bit. But the nice thing is the bag does seem to have enough flex and give and enough room to hopefully accommodate that. So if all 3 of these were fully loaded out with magazines and fully loaded out with handguns, would there be enough room? I'd say probably there should be enough room, all things considered. Now, as I take a look in a little more detail, you'll also notice there's an additional sleeve in here. So I'm going to open this from the top, which in essence, this does have a number of different dividers. So you can actually take this Velcro, configure it in different ways, and make little shelves on the inside. So that's kind of interesting. So the ability to subdivide this bag a few different ways and make it sort of a multiple configuration if you would so choose. On the bottom here, now I have its own compartment. On the inside, you'll notice something actually that I just picked up on. You have your main compartment here, but then you also have a second compartment, so a second zipper. And again, you can actually take one of these, pistol pouches here, fit that in the inside, and actually rock one of them right on the top, which is pretty cool. So again, depending on what you're trying to do, the type of firearms you have, or the configuration you're going for, it does seem to be fairly flexible. One of my initial impressions is that there's kind of a lot going on here. Now, I think once you start to get this bag fit out, I think once you start to get all of your gear in here, and once you start consuming some of the volume, I think it'll actually make things ride a little bit easier. I think it'll make things ride just a little more comfortable, and everything will fit and the bag will sort of sit. Right now, it's just kind of flopping around a little bit. There is some decent structure, all things considered, but you'll notice that there's, no real, and I guess what I'm going to call like a frame sheet in the back. It doesn't necessarily need it. Frame sheet would add a level of rigidity, but it doesn't necessarily need it. Across the back here, so very interesting as you take a look, a rain cover. So on top of all of this, it comes with an integrated rain cover. Nice attention to detail. So, I think the people at 3 Pigeons are definitely trending in the right direction here. I think I'm going to need to take a little while, get this thing set up, start to kind of understand it, figure out what works best for me, get this bag fully configured, and that way I can get it out to the range. And there's a lot, again, of just little details. The more and more I look, like for example, this is going to be awesome. Look at the side here. Now, I personally always have some sort of, and I would say like tripod, or the need to carry something for my recording purposes. Having this nice little loop here, this is going to be awesome. It gives me the ability to attach something right here on the side of the bag. Very simple yet effective. And the ability, like I said already, to kind of lock everything together. That's awesome. I love that. And then even furthermore, some simple D-rings and just nice overall stitching, the beautiful zippers. So I think this bag is going to work out very, very nicely for me. It's just going to take a little while to better understand it and get myself set up.